Decision item 9. Do you wish to speak?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I've gone through the paper and it's consistent with what was discussed and passed at the committee stages. To my knowledge, nothing has changed since the committee meeting, and I'm happy to move the recommendation that the council receive this.
Mr. Chair, could we? Yeah, could we put number 6 separately, because I'd like to move an amendment or move another motion on that.
Just a moment. Just getting a clarification because you weren't at that meeting.
No,
I think we have to do it en bloc, and it's been moved and seconded. Are there any questions though before we open up for discussion, and then we'll go through a normal process of moving an amendment, councillors? So, no questions. You wish to speak? Let's move it.
Well, no, really, Mr. Chairman. As I say, it's consistent with the what came out of the committee, where we had a full and robust discussion, a very good discussion at the committee level, and I think this paper accurately reflects the determination of the committee, and I don't see any point at this stage in any need to illuminate any further.
To speak?
Right, speak.
Councillor Rem as well.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to move that the Environmental and Services Committee recommends to Council that, and this is replacing recommendation 2, resolves that the level of payments remain the same as existing levels.
Just hang on a minute. The recommendation 2, you said?
It's low flows.
There's low flows.
Well, it's the recommendation 2 from the Environmental and Services Committee. It's item 6.
Item 6, okay.
But resolves that the level of payments remain the same as existing levels, and that the money allocated return to the general pool, and this is communicated to the Remuneration Authority.
Just unfortunately, you weren't here at that meeting. That's physically impossible, because this is not our decision. This is as it's been presented to us.
Well, this is what it says in the paper, that it can be done, Mr. Chair.
Allocation of the pool, Mr. Chairman. I think the council is correct. It's the allocation of the pool money. We have a pool money
for the chairman. For the chairman.
It says at number 4 on page 69, allocation of this pool is at the discretion of the council.
Oh, the pool for the chairman payments. Is that all? Okay. So you wish to keep the chairman payments as they are at the moment.
Yep.
Okay. We have a seconder for that.
Chairman of committees.
Okay. We have a seconder for that. Lapses. Any further speakers? Wish to sum up?
Chair, I'd like to speak. Okay, so, well, I'm just really disappointed, Mr. Chair, that this council, which has had an extra workshop to decide how to reduce spending in this council, has not seen fit to look at this very basic way of saving money for the ratepayers, which could be up to $70,000, and it's just disappointing, because I think that this council and the committee chair are already paid at a good level. It's in excess of the other authorities in this area. And I think that increasing the difference between the councillor pay and the committee chair pay is not a good look for this council, and it's not a fair representation of the difference in workload, Mr. Chair. So I'm sorry that this council is going to give itself a pay rise for the next term when it has the option not to do that.
I'll take an opportunity to speak. Those comments are interesting, Councillor. There are a couple of touch points that will happen before we get to that place, though. And one is there'll be a new council taking these recommendations, but actually doing what it likes with the recommendations. Part of the issue with the new regulation, if you like, around councillor payments is we have limited opportunity to set any payments other than those of the chair or the chairman pool, if you like, which has been changed. But there's absolutely no need to spend it all. I've said that all along. The other point to make is we don't even know what the construct of the committees may look like at this stage. So we may have more committees, which the pool will have to be spread over. I think this is really just going through the motions of the new regulation, if you like, around councillor payments, setting it up, ticking the boxes, ready for the next council, who, in their wisdom, will make a decision on how much ultimately is spent remunerating the position of chair. Other speakers?
Mr. Chairman, I do wish to speak to this one because I think you've outlined all the reasons that this decision was made, but I also would like to point out that for the past 3 terms, this council has been extremely egalitarian in the way it has shared the pool. While they were given a choice about how to share the pool, their choice was to remunerate the chairs at a very insignificant amount more than an ordinary councillor, given the fact that they considered that the responsibility was a reward in itself, and that councillors like Councillor Rimmerswile has benefited from that very egalitarian approach all these years. And it's a matter of choice as to whether that council was here to consider the debate that took place at the time.
Mr. Chairman, Councillor Rimmerswile has a valid point of view, but I think you're quite right. And what we've done is give the next council the option of having that extra $30,000 to accept or reject. And I'm pretty sure that the councils, if they wished, could accept no money at all or give it to charity. So the options are all there. So as I say, it's a valid and laudable point of view. But I think I don't feel that the sort of inference that we're being greedy and grasping is quite accurate.
You outlined the rationale for this pretty well, but there is just one other point, and that is that the Remuneration Authority deliberately has changed their policy so that it would be clear to candidates for election what level of remuneration is potentially available to them, and that's just fairness, and it's also hopefully a way of encouraging good candidates to put their names forward.
Mr. Mohi.
Yeah, just aware that number 7 regarding the chairman of the Māori committee, the higher rate than it should be is just at the behest of this committee, and it was for so-called extra work that was involved with myself rather than going forward. Councillor Dick would probably, at the time, was. Would you like to make comment on that through you, Mr. Chair?
Well,
it's there now. It's been moved and seconded. I think we'll continue. You wish to sum up?
I think the points have really been covered, Mr. Chairman. I just would also like to make the point that I wanted to be very clear that this is not this council giving itself a pay rise at all. This is not applicable to following the election, Indeed, there will be changes on council, and it remains to be seen of how significant they are. But what we are merely doing is recommending to the new council a level of remuneration for the chair of those committees, should that council wish to implement them. And as Councillor Dick rightly said, it's really to give a clear indication to those who are seeking office of where the levels of remuneration are at, so that they are clear in their minds before they stand. And I think that's a commendable and a progressive point for us to advance. So it's certainly not, as Councillor Rem as well indicated, giving ourselves a pay rise. It's, if anything, the opposite to that. This council won't receive a penny extra as a result of passing this recommendation.
Which we will now attempt to do. All those in favour, please say aye. Contrary, no. Call for a division. All those in favour, please raise your hand if you're in favour. And against. Thank you.